to let everyone come into the room, but I don't think Amy's here yet. It's hard to hop into one when all the names are flooding into it. I always have to scroll down for a while to get to it, so. But trust me when I say that you have picked a great workshop to come to. I see that Amy just got here. Hi, Amy. Look at your beautiful face up on the PowerPoint screen. All right. I'll give it like another minute, but we have the person who we need to be here is here. So, Amy. All right. Well, you guys know where you are, Becoming the Best You workshop with Amy Poxick. I'm going to pass it over to our student ambassador, Amrita, to get us going. But thank you so much for coming.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your lunch break. I know mine was pretty interesting as I tried pickles on my sandwich for the first time. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. It's quite different being on the online format, but it's awesome to have the opportunity to experience the panels and workshops on Zoom. My name is Amrita Chibukala, and I'm an aspiring OIM major at Isenberg. It's also my freshman year. This is my first year at the Women of Isenberg conference, and I am so excited to present the Becoming the Best You workshop. In my experiences so far, I realized that I struggled with self-confidence, especially in a professional setting. I remember presenting my high school capstone project, and I struggled with presenting myself with pride. That really held me back from achieving my fullest potential. A lot of women and people struggle with self-confidence in their youth, and it shouldn't be overlooked. By recognizing our own strengths and developing a toolkit to help us achieve our full potential, we can comfortably be our authentic selves everywhere we go. In this workshop, you will adopt your own toolkit to help guide you throughout life. Self-awareness is a powerful tool that can be used in any scenario. You can learn to be the leader in your own life. Without further ado, let's welcome Amy Poxick.
Hey everybody, awesome. Thank you so much. I am so excited for our time together. If it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Kate, is there a way I can have share screening capabilities?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. And while you're doing that, I would love in the chat if you could introduce yourself. I'm so thrilled to meet you all. It's just such a joy to be in this room together.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Okay. I think I'm having someone take care of it and make you co-host on that end. But can you, is there something that allows you to just request it and just see if I have an easier way?
Yeah, let me give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like it's just saying it's disabled.
Okay.
That's okay. You know what? I'm going to jump in and get started if that's okay, Kate. And then if it comes up, then you can just let me know.
Perfect.
So yeah, so thank you again for being here. I'm so excited. Before we get started, I would like to just share with you that this is a really brave space, right? The room that we're in together here is a brave space. That means that there's no judgment. That means that we show up fully and authentically and for each other with so much love and so much appreciation for all that we bring into this community. Does that sound good? Yeah. Awesome, right? I also want, it's the Zoom world, right, has pluses and minuses. I wish so much that we were in a room together, but if I say something that really resonates with you, that you're like, you know what, that's what I needed to hear today. I am so fired up about this. I want you to drop the word gem into the chat, okay? Just type gem, right? Like just to let me know that that is something that resonated with you. And just so excited because that's my intention and purpose of being with you today, is to really share my journey so that I can inspire, empower, encourage you to live out your best life. Okay. Does that sound good? Are you ready for some gems? I hope so. I hope so. We are going to have so much fun. All right. Let me try one more time and see if I can get the screen share. Oh, I think it's working. Awesome. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see real quick.
Yay.
Yay, great job.
I knew I pressed the right thing. Cool.
We did it. Let's see if I can just present. Hey, not bad, right? Not bad. I think we've got it. Let me just go back to the first slide. Just get all the way back. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So we talked about our brave space. We talked about our gems. Let's go. Let's dive into this. I'm so fired up to be with you and to share what I have to share with you today. So I want to start off by just saying that hidden in every challenge is an opportunity and a gift. And I want to share a story with you. I want to take you back to my sophomore year as a UMass student. I had gone home for the weekend to celebrate my very best friend's birthday. Now, I lived in Salem, Mass. Do we have any North Shore? I saw some Swampscott people. Yes, right? Love the North Shore. So I had got home. It was December. I celebrated my best friend's birthday. And it was a Sunday night, and I was getting ready to go back to UMass because I had a very big test that I had to get back for on Monday morning. So I was packing up my things. I was in my room. I was getting things ready to go back to school. And my mom came around the corner and stuck her head in and said, Aim, you know what? There's a snowstorm coming. Maybe you better wait and go back to school on Monday morning. And I was like, no way. I have a test. I have to get back on campus. There's no way. So we're like, okay, we looked at the weather and we saw that it wasn't going to start until 2 o'clock. The snow wasn't supposed to start until 2 o'clock. So I knew that if I got back to campus, by noontime, I would be okay. So I pack up the car and I head down 128 and I get all the way down to the Mass Pike. I'm in my big red Ford Taurus. I don't know if anybody's like really awesome car, right? No. But here I was driving back to UMass, listening to my music. And all of a sudden I hit that Worcester line and the weather had already changed there.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but it was as if the roads had already iced over. And then the snow started to fall and I could feel myself getting nervous and I was gripping the wheel a little bit tighter. And then the snow started to come really, really fast and it was really hard to see and my heart started to race. I was in the fast lane. I pull over to the middle lane and I slow my speed down, but I hit a patch of ice and my car began to spin. And I did a complete 360 in the middle of the Mass Pike. Now at this point, I don't know what's going on. My mind is racing. I am completely have lost control of the vehicle and I'm thinking I'm gonna die, right? Out of the corner of my eye, I see a Fenghua bus coming in the right lane with a full of people from Boston to New York.
Oh, yeah.
As my car begins to take the second rotation, it hits the side of the bus. And it was the biggest blessing because although my Ford Taurus took a hit, it straightened me out. I regained myself and pull over to the side of the road. The gentleman driving the bus got off and started yelling at me in a language I'd never heard about. I was shaking like a leaf. I call 911 and a state trooper comes, right? And now, sidebar, the state trooper, right? I don't know about you, but I have the biggest celebrity crush on Ryan Gosling. Does anybody watch The Notebook? Anybody watch? Yes, right? Okay. All right. I mean, here we're talking about, right? It was as if he was his clone. Okay. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It was Officer McDreamy. Okay. And I'm shaking like a leaf, shaking like a leaf. He tells me to get out of the car, asks me if I'm all right. I say I'm fine. And all I could say out of my mouth was, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. And Officer McDreamy took me by my shoulders and said, but you didn't. Your life is a gift. And from that moment on, I realized that life truly is a gift. Long story short, he gets me to a hotel. He didn't come in with me, but he got me somewhere where I could stay overnight. And I pulled out my notebook from my backpack. And that evening I sat and I really thought about what it meant to live a life on purpose and what it meant to live a life that I was lit up about and I was excited about, right? And so what I really learned from that experience was that in every challenge, there's an opportunity and a gift, right? There's an opportunity to grow and there's always a gift. Now, the gift could have been Officer McDreamy, but it really was an opportunity to think about where I was in my life in that moment and what I wanted for my life, right? And so that night, it was as if I was looking at my life, standing over a balcony and looking down. And from that perspective, becoming aware of the things in my life that I was really excited and proud about, but also understanding that there were areas and parts of my life that I wasn't so excited about and that I wasn't so thrilled about. So if you have a pen and paper, I want to walk you through a little bit of what I did that night so that you can do it in your own life. So what I want you to think about is 3 major areas in your life: your friendships, relationships, your health, and your work. So if you could write down like friendships, relationships, your health, and your work. And I want you to rate yourself. Now, not from a place of judgment, not from criticism, but from a place of self-awareness, a place of love with a growth mindset and growth outlook. Rate yourself from 1 to 5. 5 being like, this area, I am crushing it. In this area, I feel so lit up about life. A 1 is like, you know what? This area in my life is stuck. It's not working. I'm not where I want to be. So take a minute right here and just kind of go down those categories and think about where you are in that. So I'm going to ask you I love seeing the gems in the chat. I just happened to pop it open. I love that. So I want to ask you, like, let's just get in the chat a little bit. Again, this is a brave space. When we think in terms of friendships and relationships, where are you? What's your number? Just pop your number in the chat. I'm just really curious. Okay, nice. Awesome. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for getting in there. Yes, so good, right? I love it. Now, what about in terms of health? Where do you fall? Where do you fall around health? Yep. Yeah. Really good. Really good. How about your work? How about your schoolwork, your work in general, yeah, nice. Nice. I love it. So when I did this exercise in that hotel room that night, I really recognized the value of becoming self-aware. And in order for you to become the best you, it takes being radically self-aware. And one of the practices that I started that evening and I've continued throughout my entire life is once a quarter, just getting quiet, checking in with myself, and being radically self-aware to know where I am now, to know what's important to me and where I want to go, right? just So I love this quote by Isenberg. She says, "We cannot change what we are not aware of. And once we're aware, we cannot help but change," right? It's so important. So hands up if you're with me and if you're committed to doing this once a quarter. Yes, right? It's so simple. And yet so many people in the world don't do this. They don't. Yes, I love it. Hands up. So good, right? So when I did this, for me, the one thing that was very, very lacking in my life was my health. As a sophomore at UMass Amherst, I was 40 pounds overweight. Now, this is not anything to do with body shaming or anything like that. I had been an athlete my whole life, but when I had got to college, it all had sort of stopped. And I was feeling a very big lack of energy. I wasn't feeling very confident in my own skin. And I was frustrated in that part of my life. And so I really knew that I wanted to do something about it, especially because it was December and I really wanted to go on spring break in March and feel really amazing with my friends, right? On the beach, having a blast. But when I did this, I noticed that what I wanted was to feel healthy and vibrant and amazing. And where I was nowhere near that. And so I'm going to check in with you. If there was something on your list that you had a vision for, but it wasn't quite where you were, does anybody feel that when they kind of looked at those things? Yeah. So what did you notice? What's between there? What's between there? I'm going to get in the chat, see if I can pop the chat open. What's between there? What you want to be and where you're at, right? Yes, myself. So true. What else though? What is that? Motivation. Yep. Fear, time, knowledge, self-doubt. Yes. Like all those things, right? And what I call that is that's the gap. There's a gap between what you want and what you know you were made for and where you're at. And anytime there's a gap, I want you to think gap, get a plan, get a plan. If there's a gap, that is where the work to do. That's the work that is there for you to do, right? So I didn't know how I was going to lose the weight, but I knew I had to get a plan. And so my plan went something like this. I decided that I was going to go to the gym 5 days a week, and I was going to no longer allow myself to go up to the ice cream at the dining hall. So they still have those ice cream machines at the dining hall. Yes, right? Come on. That is temptation in your face 24/7, right? Yes, exactly. And I have a sweet tooth. It was set up for failure. Okay. But anyways, all that to say, that was my plan. That was the extent of my plan. I had never tried to lose weight or become more healthy in my entire life. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I just had to start somewhere. And so that was my plan. And the plan wasn't perfect. So what I did was I would get up early before my classes and I would bundle up because this was the middle of winter. And that wind would whip through Southwest and it would just like take me out. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, right? And I would be walking to the gym, and it wasn't the fancy gyms that you all have now. It was like in the basement somewhere. I don't know. And I would be like, what am I doing? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is never going to work. What am I doing? Oh my gosh. But I would kept showing up, right? I would get on the treadmill. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person where if I go to class, I would sit in the same seat every single class. Anybody else, right? Right? You get into the habit. Well, I would go to the same treadmill and I would walk and jog and all the things. And there was always a girl on the treadmill next to me. Now this girl, like, exercise was her jam. She had like the outfits going on. She had the ponytail swinging. And it always felt like if I was doing 5 on the treadmill, this girl was doing 6. Okay. And it was like, come on. Right. And I would try to go faster. Yes, Katie, I love it. Right. Same. Yes. And she looked like she was just in such a great shape, and she had it going on and all these things. Right. And I was so frustrated because I just couldn't get it together. And finally, I just went up to her, introduced myself, and I'm like, hey, I'm Amy, how's it going? We start talking, conversation. It turns out that she was like some sort of exercise. Who knew they had exercise majors? Okay. Right. But this was her thing. And she was so good at it. And so I asked her, hey, can we get coffee? Can we have lunch together? And just by asking her to do that, I learned so much, right? She taught me all the things that she was doing to get healthy, and we became exercise buddies. So the point is, after you get a plan, and the plan's not going to be perfect, but what that does is get you into action. It gets you into proximity with the people who have the result that you want. And you ask for help from those people. It's incredible what you can create in your life, right? And so I did lose the weight, and I did go on spring break, which was amazing. And I'll see if I can. This was us. See if you can find me in the picture. We went, anybody guesses in the chat of where we went? Any guesses? Any guesses? LA, good guess, not LA. Fort Lauderdale. Who said Fort Lauderdale? Yes, that's exactly right. That's where we went. And we had an absolute blast. I regained my confidence, and it didn't stop there, right? I was on fire for my health, and it's been a lifelong journey. It hasn't been always been smooth sailing. It turns out that instead of ice cream machines at the dining hall, there's a ton of it at my grocery store, right? So there's times for sure it's up and down. Okay. I'm not going to say that I've mastered it, but it's a journey. And I always know that if there's a gap between what I want to accomplish and where I am today, I need to get a plan. I need to ask for help, and I need to celebrate my success. Okay. So let's see if we can keep going here. Okay. So becoming the best you, just what we just said, we're going to become aware. We're going to notice the gaps. We're going to get a plan. Okay. If you don't create your life, the world will create it for you. So I want to fast forward a little bit here. Actually, not that fast. So I'm going to fast forward to, I graduate UMass. I go on to get a job at one of Boston's top accounting firms. Any accounting majors? Do I have any accounting majors here? Hands up. Who's an accounting major? Anybody? Any accounting majors? Accounting major, Tina, awesome. So good, right? Yes, Tess, I love it. So I was an accounting major, and I was very driven. I was singularly focused at that time in my life to work for one of the top accounting firms. I was dead set on climbing the corporate ladder and doing everything that I needed to do to get there. And so you'll see that's me in corporate America. I don't know why I took a selfie of myself in that particular moment, but I did. So you can see. Let's see. Okay. So here I am. I'm at the big accounting firm in Boston. Now, I was very driven. I was very ambitious. And something tells me that all of you on this call are very driven and very ambitious. Can I get a hands up if you're somebody who likes to achieve? Yes, right. Yes, right. Yes. I love seeing the hands up. Okay. So this was me. I wanted to learn and grow. And I got to the firm. I was very set on setting myself up for a promotion at, usually in public accounting at the time, it was like a 2 to 3 year runway, but I was determined to get my first promotion in 2 years. So from different mentors and things, I understood that the way to get that was to ask to be placed on the toughest clients, the clients that most people didn't want for some of the hardest partners to work for. So I said, okay, that's the path. I'm going to do it. So I worked, 90% of my work was under this one partner. His name was Al, and he was tough. And I worked my butt off, right? I worked late hours. I had done everything I could for the clients and just really gave it my all. And so when it came time, this had gone on for a couple of years, and it came time for my promotion review. So it'd been 2 years. I was like, you know what? I got this. I have worked so hard for this. I feel really prepared. I spoke to, just talking to my now husband, but my boyfriend at the time, who's also a UMass. I met him in junior writing. Anybody take junior writing? Keep your eyes out. He doesn't look like Ryan Gosling, but he's like, really cute. So keep your eyes out. You never know. Anyways, so I said, it's my review day. Let's book some reservation for dinner. We're going to go out and celebrate because I think I have this thing in the bag. And buy a new dress, the whole thing, right? So the day comes and everybody's all nervous, but I'm not nervous because I know I've been working my butt off. I worked 90% of the work that I was doing was directly under this one partner. And I knew that I had done as best as I could do. So I walk into his office, it's my turn. And, it's his plush corner office in this gorgeous building in Boston. And he's got this huge mahogany desk with pictures of his kids and his family lining it. You can tell he's had an incredible career. And I sit down in front of him and he says to me, "So what have you been working on?" And I was like, what? Like, I work on every single one of your clients. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Which ones? What have you been doing? I was floored. I was my jaw was like down to the ground. And I don't even know what came out of my mouth at that moment. I started to panic. I started to sweat. I was like, this is not going the way I thought it was. I couldn't articulate what I had done. And so what I realized was that although 90% of my work was on his clients, those clients only represented 10% of his entire portfolio. And so everybody's busy, right? And you think that people are noticing all that you're doing, but they're not. And so I left that meeting without a promotion and a broken ego, if you will. And so I came home that night and I called my dad. Anybody a daddy's girl? Anybody a daddy's girl? Like, hands up, right? And I start crying and I'm telling him the whole story. And he's like, you know what, Aim? He's like, if you don't know your value, you can't communicate your value. And if you can't communicate your value, you can't get paid for your value. And I knew in that moment that he was right. And so I went to CVS and I bought a notebook. And I started to write down all of my achievements, all the work that I had done, every process I had made more efficient, every note from a client who was thanking me, every time I worked late. I started to keep track of the achievements that I made. And when it came time for review the following year, I was ready. And I walked in there and owned my power and I got the promotion, right? So what I learned is that you have to cheer for yourself before others will cheer for you, right? You have to believe in yourself before others will believe in you. And it's so, so important. So the best way that I know how to do this is to keep what I like to call a folder of awesome. So what I want you to do right now is to grab your phone. Everybody got their phone near them, right? Everyone's got their phone, right? I want you to grab your phone and I want you to open up a notes app. And I want you to title it Note to Self. And I want this to be a place where you remind yourself of your brilliance. You remind yourself of how amazing you truly are. And so I want you to write in this note the 3 words that your best friend would use to describe you. Put those in the chat. I would love to see. How would your best friend describe you? If she was here and she was telling me about you, what would she say? Kind, passionate, and smart. Yes. Smart, caring, funny. Yes. Sweet, kind, passionate. I love it. Nurturing, loyal, kind. I love all the kindness. That's rare. It's rare in this world to find kind people. Funny, headstrong. Yes, Grace. I love it. Driven, loyal. I love the loyalty thread too. Again, it's rare to find people that have your back in this world. And when you find them, you keep them. Okay. Now I want you to start a new line. And on this one, I'd like you to write 3 words that your favorite boss or your favorite professor, how would they describe you? What words would they use if they were telling somebody about you? Your favorite boss, your favorite professor, maybe it's somebody, at your summer job, or a professor of one of your favorite classes. What are the 3 words that they would use? Hardworking, yes. Resilient. Oh, I love resiliency. That will take you so far. Determined, dedicated, a workaholic. Oh no, we gotta talk, Jeannie. Smart, receptive, friendly. Yes, open-minded. That's so good. Curious, hardworking, team player. So good. These are all phenomenal. Now, this one's going to be the hardest. I'm just going to put this right up front. This one is going to be the hardest, but I know you can do it. I want you to write 3 things that you love about yourself. What do you love about yourself? And these ones, I want you to shout out in the chat, like shout. It's hard to brag about ourselves, but it's so important to be reminded. Yes, I love that. Oh, Grace, so good. So fantastic. Yes. And then lastly, and maybe we'll do this because I just saw that we only have 5 more minutes. This went by way too fast, but maybe after this you can do this, but I want you to do 3 things that you're most proud of. I want you to have your most tangible accomplishments. So for me, these look like, giving birth to 2 baby boys, 2 kids, right? They look like, starting my own business and leaving a long time career. They look like, graduating from UMass and getting a CPA, like things that are hard. Doesn't have to be important to anybody else, but things that mean something to you. I want you to list them, and don't have to just be 3, a minimum of 3, but I want you to capture your accomplishments. Keep this note going. This is a document, a place where you can capture all of the amazing things that you're doing. All right, so I know we only have 5 more minutes, which went by so fast, but just to recap, becoming the best you, right? Become radically self-aware. Recognize where there's a gap and get a plan to get into action, to get into proximity with people who have the result that you want, and own your power. Absolutely own your power. And I love this quote, right? By becoming the best you, you shine a light for others to see what is possible. I want to thank you. I want to open this up for questions. I apologize, there's not more time left, but I also want to invite you. We are now in community with each other. You are part of my tribe, and I want you to connect with me, and I do not want you to be shy. But I challenge all of you, send me a note on Instagram or LinkedIn. And if there's ever anything I can do to help you, I want you to reach out. Okay, sorry, Kate, I'll hand this over to you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know Amy said she wanted to open this up to questions. So if anyone has a question that they want to ask Amy, I know we have 4 minutes, so we have to head back to the main room. So if anyone either wants to come off mute or just pop a question in the chat and I can read it aloud. I think I'm actually going to start off with a question because I wrote for, one of the things I'm most proud of. I feel like recently I've felt like I've really had to get thicker skin, either like in a professional sense, an emotional sense. So how do you really stay true and strong to your beliefs and, learn how to not take things personally and be confident in your brilliance and everything that you're proud of about you?
I love that. First of all, critics don't count. Always consider the feedback from the source of the feedback, always, right? Nobody gets to define you, okay? And the higher you go, the more successful you become. You need to take the criticism as a sign that you're elevating, right? Because, there's a quote out there, somebody says, it always comes from behind you, never ahead of you. People who are more successful than you generally will never criticize you. It's always those people who aren't where you are at. So you just have to know that and own your power, right?
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to move to Haley's question in the chat. It says, what do you say to people who call you arrogant for recognizing your positive qualities?
I would say that says more about them than it does about me, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It goes back. I wrote down critics don't count. Okay, awesome. I'll go to Lynn's question while we still have 2 minutes. Do you do this type of coaching and motivational speaking full time? I think I know the answer to this. And how did you get here from accounting?
This is a great question. I'm going to be talking about, does anybody belong to the Women in Business group? I'm coming out to campus on March. I would love to see you there because I'm going to be talking about this, how I went from going from a CPA for over a decade to owning my own business, the Women's Business League, and motivating, inspiring, encouraging women to live their best lives. It's a passion of my heart, and I feel so blessed to do it.
Okay, it says breakout rooms close in 50 seconds. So let's see if we can do a rapid fire. Would you say that being the best you is always apparent, or does it need to or needs to need made known, or does it just show naturally? Does it need to be made known? I think that's what I meant to say.
I think it's a continual process, right? We are always learning and growing, and there's always different areas. So I say commit to at least once a quarter, checking in with yourself, checking in with your intent, your purpose, your passion, and just seeing where you're at. It's a continual process, and we're all on a journey, right?
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Amy. I don't want to close up really fast, but we're going to head back to the main session and we'll have next steps explained. We're going to go into our sponsor career networking session, but I'm blown away by Amy today. And
All right, Sarah, it looks like everyone is back. So if you want to jump in, that would be great.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, everyone. I really hope that you all enjoyed the workshop session. I'd like to thank our workshop hosts, Amy, Kim, Emily, Anim, Alana, and Nicole for presenting such a diverse and powerful range of topics that help all of us with navigating the next steps of our careers and life. My name is Sarah Susi. I'm currently in my last semester at UMass, studying for a degree in business management and minors in psychology and IT. This past year, I had the privilege of serving as the director of sponsorship and an operations committee member for the Women of Isenberg conference. I'm beyond grateful for this opportunity to lead such an empowering event with a group of even more empowering individuals. I would now like to take a moment to thank our generous sponsors for helping us reach our goals, fulfill our mission, and make an impact on the UMass community. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Raytheon Technologies, our silver sponsor, RSM, our bronze sponsors, EY, Deloitte, PwC, TJX, KPMG, Citi, BDO, and Wayfair. Our underwriter, Women for UMass Amherst, and our friend, Isenberg Graduate Programs. Thank you all for your commitment to our mission and your incredible generosity. The 9th annual Women of Isenberg Conference would not be possible without every one of you. Next up, we will have our career reception, giving you the opportunity to network with our sponsors in breakout rooms. In previous years, students have received jobs, internships, and mentors through making connections during this reception. So take advantage of this amazing opportunity. If you have not already, please upload your resume using the link that can be found in the chat. It's a great way for everyone to stay connected post-conference, as all our sponsor representatives will have access to the resume book. There will be a labeled breakout room for each sponsor, with representatives in those rooms waiting to network with you. Please feel free to jump from room to room and learn more about the different companies as well as Isenberg graduate programs. This will continue until 2:45. We will then take a 15-minute break and reconvene at 3 p.m. to proceed with our next session of the day. I hope you all enjoy this experience and form strong connections.
And if anybody would like to jump into a breakout room but need some help, please let us know. We know that not everybody will be joining them. We have some speakers still on here, so I see a lot of workshop hosts. We just want to thank you again. I'm sure your sessions were amazing.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I can't see the breakout rooms. Like I click it and it's just a black box that pops up.
No worries. Do you have a room that you would like to join?
Can I possibly be put into the Wayfair room, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
I just
Appreciate it.
assigned you, so it should work.
I still don't see it.
Do you have a spot for breakout rooms and it's just black, or do you not see breakout rooms at all?
I can click the breakout rooms, and then when I click it, instead of seeing the different rooms, it's just empty, it's blank. Wait, I'm like, Oh, wait, here we go.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Wanted to say thank you, girls. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you,
so
Amy.
much, Amy.
Amy,
heard
you were
your-
amazing.
So fun.
You were so awesome.
Aw, made my
It was
day.
so much fun.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
I have to say, Amy just left, but I have to say, if any of you are professionals out in the world and you're looking for a really awesome networking group, Amy's Women's Business League rocks. the energy that she had in her room, she brings to everything in her organization. And if you're a student and you're at, thinking about having networking, supportive groups of women when you graduate, Amy's organization is really, really amazing. So, and Amy, I don't know